Folks, listen. This morning I come across this headline in local newspapers, the Gleaner newspaper, reporting the extent to which theft has been costing Highway 2000 lots of money. Now, when I read the report, they indicated that so far they have had to spend over $1 million to replace stolen items from the highway. Fencing, sign material, cable and telephone material that they have on the highway for emergency calls and other items. And it really hit me. Now, corruption, lies, theft, thiefness, it is costing this country a whole lot of money. And we need a conversation where we just tell it like it is, where we call a spade and cause people to begin to reflect on the extent to which the individual actions or the collective actions of a group of persons who are involved in stealing and in other acts of corruption, how they are costing the country enormous sums of money. This is $1 million we're talking about, and this is just one instance. There are many such cases happening at small companies, large companies, at government offices. People just seem to have developed this kind of mentality that they believe that they are entitled to the property of other persons. Yesterday, reading about this employee who worked at the Pegasus Hotel stealing the phones that were used by the US Secret Service. National embarrassment, international embarrassment. I think we need to come to a point where we get back to a place where we begin to tell persons again about the wrongness of stealing, and that this glorification of generalship and anansiism that we seem to have, where sometimes we speak even positively and in glowing terms, it seems, about the fact that Jamaica is such a country that is characterized by acute generalship, as if it is something to be proud of. It is not something to be proud of. And the cost is astronomical when we calculate the costs that are associated with replacing stolen items and fixing things that are no longer working because parts have been stolen. And then we have persons saying, well, it's all about eating a food. These euphemistic ways in which we have come to label these things that historically and internationally, globally across societies, are recognized and acknowledged to be wrong. It seems to have infested our adult population. So, what do we do? Do we just continue like this? I don't think life in this country is going to be sustainable for much longer if we continue on the path that we are on. So I am saying we need a conversation where we acknowledge the thing for what it is and say, look, this is getting out of hand. It needs to stop. And I think that perhaps the horse has already gone through the gate as far as the adults are concerned. I think we need a conversation that says we have to nip this thing in the bud and start with the young generation. So, I am proposing a national effort to intentionally inculcate the values of honesty and integrity in our children, 6 years and under. Let us take them and ensure that we build into them the strength and resilience of character that will cause them to know that stealing is wrong, that they will draw an internal line, that there will be an inbuilt inhibition against theft, against corruption. Children who will grow into teenagers and young adults with a strength of character, that we will over time have a new generation of persons in this country for whom honesty is still and yet remains to be the best policy, whose lives are characterized by integrity. Corruption is costing us dearly, and we need to do something about it. So, who is up for the challenge? This conversation is long overdue. Let's start the conversation now.